Okay, good morning and welcome. It's our Friday slow glow. So we're just going to be going through 45 minutes of some gentle movements, moving with the breath, keeping it nice and slow. And my theme all week has been water, and that means fluidity, creativity, adaptability, and this ability to return to a deep calm after something has disturbed the surface. As always, we'll start off getting ourselves comfortable in a cross-legged seat. We might be supporting the knees if we need to support the knees. And we're sitting up nice and high on some blocks or on some cushions, trying to let the hips relax. Get the fingers, and we'll bring the fingertips towards the knees, leaning forwards a little bit. Feel the weight come forwards a little bit. And then we're gently sliding the fingertips in and feeling the shoulders come above the hips, and maybe we feel a little bit of ease and a little bit of length come into the shoulders, into the lower back. Maybe the tummy switches on a little bit. Once again, we're just rocking forward. So we're coming forwards onto the front of the sitting bones of the pelvis, fingertips forwards. And then as we inhale back, we're rolling the pelvis back to neutral and plant the palms where they feel comfortable. And maybe just activate 5% in the arms. So we're just supporting the spine a little bit, just a tiny bit with the hands. And again, maybe we feel a little more ease and length in the lower spine. Check in with the head. So we don't want the chin coming all the way down, and we don't want the chin coming all the way up either. The best thing to do is to feel like the back of the head comes back a little bit over the sitting bones, over the sacrum. And the chin draws back and just down a tiny bit, and we feel a lovely length at the back of the neck, at the top of the spine, just before it meets the skull. And that's our just right position. The neck relaxed. The shoulders not too far forwards and not too far back, feeling open across the collarbones, the upper chest. And again, just that little bit of support coming from the contact of the palm to the thigh. On our next inhale, imagining that there's a string coming from the top of our head, inhaling, and maybe there's a little bit more length to be found. Exhaling, see if we can keep 90% of that length, but just soften. Relaxing. If the eyes aren't closed, let the eyes close. And we're taking a moment to just notice where we are and what we're doing right now, carving out this hour of time to look after body, look after mind, relax and do something for us, to make ourselves the priority for once. There's so much pressure to make friends or make work or make our own output even priority. And in this hour, we make our well-being our priority. This is a gift to ourselves, this time. And let that sink in, and maybe a little smile to yourself, a little thank you to yourself. And then let that thought go, and we're bringing our attention to our breath. Slowly and gently inhaling through the nostrils, perhaps feeling the collarbones lift, the ribs expand a little, maybe feeling that the belly softens a little as well and fills. Exhaling, you gently draw the belly button in, finding softness. So when we move the breath in and out of the body, in the yoga tradition, we're also moving the prana, the life force, in and out of the body. It's very similar to the Chinese idea of qi. And so there's many exercises in the Hatha Yoga tradition called Pranayama, which are for stimulating, clearing, unblocking, and so on and so forth, the prana, the life force. So we're going to try a very, very simple pranayama, which is the 3-part breath. It's going to help us develop the muscular control of the abdomen and the ability to regulate the breath. So what it will be like is I'll count 1, 2, 3. And in the first count, we try to breathe into the tummy. So we'll soften the tummy, fill the tummy with air. 4, 5, 6, we'll try to breathe into the side ribs. You might want to wrap your fingers around your ribs, the thumb coming to the back, to get the feeling of where that is. Or it's just around where the bra strap would go. And then the final 7, 8, 9, we'll be breathing to the upper ribs, shoulder blades, collarbones. And then once we've completed the inhale, we'll breathe steadily out through the nose and breathe all the way back down. We'll just track the breath coming back down with the mind's eye. So the trick with this is to start off slow, as in only take a little bit of air in for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that we still have some capacity when we reach the upper chest. So together, breathing out and into the tummy, 1, 2, 3, into the side ribs, 4, 5, 6, and into the upper chest, collarbones, 7, 8, 9. Hold the breath in for a second or two, and then steady, smooth breath out, all through the nose. And we'll keep going like that. So into the belly, 1, 2, 3, the side ribs, 4, 5, 6, the upper chest, collarbones, 7 and 9. Smooth exhale, all the way up. Belly draws in and up. And again, breathing into the tummy for 1, 2, 3. The side ribs for 4, 5, 6. The upper chest, collarbones, 7, 8, 9. Smooth exhale. And now see if you can count it for yourself internally. You can try slowing it down if you want to. If any anxiety or tension arises, just let that go. It should be a very easeful and relaxing process. Take one more complete round. And breathing out. Next time you breathe out, just let that go and return to a normal, relaxed, easeful breath. Now gently blinking the eyes open, and we'll start to go through the joints and just mobilize all our joints. So start picking the hands up And we're just wiggling the fingers, wiggling the fingers. And again, no need to push here. Our theme of fluidity will go for multiple small movements, like when you do many small reps with low weights. So we'll concentrate on many reps, easeful. Wiggling those fingers a few more times, and then we're opening and closing the hands. If it feels okay, speed it up a little bit. And at some point, there'll be a bit of cramp will come into the fingers. That's completely normal. And we'll try and just push through a little bit of that. Speed it up if the still feels very easy. And then let that go. Just flop the hands out, shake the hands out a little bit. And we'll come to do wrist rotations. So for the wrist rotations, what we don't want to do is flap the elbow around. So we'll bring the elbows to rest at the side of the body, and that will squeeze them in just gently, and that helps us to keep the wrist still. Let's start with doing one. So we'll take the left hand, wrap the fingers of the left hand around the right wrist. Again, this is just to help us know that we're only moving the wrist and we're not moving the arm and the elbow. Start small with this. It's going to be a bit of crunching and clunking. That's normal. So with these movements, a little bit of it feeling a bit unpleasant or a bit weird, that's okay. Any sharp pains, we just back off or we take a rest. Few the other way, and then extend the fingers up as far as we can. Bring the other hand on top and gently a wrist stretch, drawing those fingers back. Holding that for another few seconds and gently let it go. Turn the hands so the fingers are facing down. Again, drawing the fingers back in, making sure that elbow is nice and wedged in the side. And then bring the hand underneath to wrap around the thumb. So left hand under right hand, wrap around the thumb. Inhale, move the palm away, extend the elbow. Exhale, draw the thumb towards us. Inhale, let that go. Bring the elbow back in, the wrist is facing up, hold the wrist again, and the circles again. You might come a little bit deeper. See what the wrist wants, see what the wrist needs. Quite a lot of crunchiness in this wrist. Slow it down, extend the fingers and slow it down. That's it. So it should be, if we're just doing this, we're not getting any benefit. The fingers are reached out as much as possible. And it's quite a strong movement. Like it should be uncomfortable. Come back the other way. And then let that one go. We'll come to the other side. So we're starting wrist down, elbow in, holding the wrist, extend the fingers down. And we're drawing those circles. So really try to keep the fingers as straight as possible. And the elbow immobile. And then the other way. Now these are great for just a general daily practice of maintaining the wrist. I can tell I haven't been doing it because of how crunchy my wrist is. Let that go. And when we drawing the fingers back first with the wrist facing down, the elbow into the side of the body. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the other way. Use the palm of the hand to draw those fingers back. Maybe you're just extending the heel of the palm forwards a little bit to deepen the stretch. And then it's the hand underneath, wrapping around the thumb. And we extend the elbow away as we draw the thumb back towards us. And then the wrist up, extending the fingers down. And again, the circles. Finding those sticky spots. Back the other way. And then again, shake it out, let it go. So the next one is for the elbow. Well, the next ones are for the elbow. These can be done with a really light weight. If you have, like, for example, Like a small water bottle would be perfect, or like a 1 kilo dumbbell would be perfect for these. Or you can do it with a small hammer, and that's quite interesting because then the weight's moving away. And it's just these inversions and eversions. Great to do a few of these while you're waiting for the kettle to boil anyway. But if you do have a small weight to do it with, and you've got stuff going on with the wrist, the forearm, the elbow, this is such a good one for building up all the stabilizer muscles in the forearm. Okay, squeeze those elbows in, so we're just moving the wrist here. Because of the way the arm's built, we've got these two bones that attach here. A lot of our mobility comes from that. So if we want to just get into the wrist, we have to keep the elbow very deliberately still. Okay, now it's the, can you do this from a seat? I think you probably can. It's a spiritual bicep curl, my friend calls this. And it is just a bicep curl. We bring the palms up, turn the palms out, and we push them down. The intensity comes from engaging the muscles. So you resist it. You resist, you resist, you resist, you resist, you resist. And you're squeezing the biceps as hard as you can here. Maybe even you're getting a bit of a shake on. Really squeezing. Next time you come down, don't flip the hands. So now we lift the hands the other way, turning the other way. Still, triceps and biceps are really, really working hard here. Cores engaged, but the breath is still smooth. Lovely. Okay, let that go. Shake it out again. Yeah, we'll come up to standing now. So gently making your way to standing. It's going to be easier to do these ones standing up. So coming up to the shoulders now. And we're coming to, I like to call this one like stealing peaches. So I'll back up a little bit. And it's a reach up, and we look up at the hand. And then we make a fist, we turn it, and we pull the hand down. And then we reach up with the other hand, turn it, and pull it down. Gently mobilizing the shoulder blades, and we're turning the arm bone in the socket. And if this is feeling okay, and we're up for it, we can speed it up a little bit. That's fine, as long as we're reaching with the palm forwards, turning, and we're bringing the fist down. So we're getting that rotation. That's it. You can look up. We're warming the neck up very gently as well. If the neck's not happy, just keep the face forwards, mainly wanting to get into the shoulders here. Great. Okay. And now our shoulder rolls. So the thing to watch out for here is, I'm exaggerating, but we don't want the body going back and forth. Try to isolate in the shoulders, feeling the shoulder blades moving over the back of the body. Bring the fingertips to rest on the shoulders, and we're drawing the little circles forwards. Again, the body's going to want to move back and forwards. See if we can resist that. Firm foundation, maybe draw the heels together, switch on the legs, switch on the lower core. And then to get a bit of sideways movement in, we'll come into like a sort of front crawl action here. Okay, if a little bit of twisting comes in, doing that quite consciously, but still try to keep the hips relatively still. Nice. Shake that out. So this next one, a little bit confusing. So I'm going to bring this back of my left hand to my back just to help keep a nice posture. Right hand's going to go down with the thumb facing forward. And inhale, bring that hand up beside the ear so the arm's facing straight out. And I'm going to rotate the arm bone in the socket again. So the thumb's going to come in towards the head, turn round to the front. So now the arm is internally rotated. As I exhale, arms coming back, 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 back. And when I'm turning the hand again, and ending up with the palm facing away, thumb facing to the left, Inhaling, rotating the arm as it comes up, and I end up with the thumb facing to the back, coming down. So it's inhale the arm up, internally rotate, thumb faces forwards, exhale, exhale, thumbs going back, 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 rotate again, thumb faces left, inhale, rotate as we come up, thumb faces forwards, exhale down. So just go really slowly with it. Inhale, thumb to the front, exhale. The arm's going to want to rotate to bring the back of the hand behind the buttock. Inhale, again, the arm's going to want to rotate, and as it comes up, finish with the thumb to the back of the room, bring the arm down. Yeah. Inhale, up, rotate, down, the back of the hand behind the buttock. Inhale, the thumb to the back, exhale, the hand down. Take one more on this side. Complicated movement. Be gentle with it. And we'll come to do the other side. So it's 2 breaths for 1 repetition. Start with the thumb facing forwards. Inhale, the thumb is back. Rotate it to the front. Exhale. Back of the hand behind the buttock, thumb facing to the side. Inhale, let the arm rotate naturally. Exhale, lower. With your breath. So we're going for 5. I've got 2 left. Just finish your set of 5. Last one. Nice. Shake it out. Next one's easy, fortunately. That's definitely the most complicated one. We're just taking some neck rolls. I think you've done these with me before. So we're lowering the chin towards the chest. It might touch, it might not. That's fine. And we'll inhale across to one side. So we're dragging the chin along towards the shoulder. And then we're drawing a rainbow with the chin, bringing it over to the other side, a big arc. And then we're sinking the chin down towards the chest. And then we go the other way. So we go once, one way, once the other, and keep it going. And the trick with this is to keep it really in the, don't want to push it, basically. It's one of these ones to do regularly, and then my range of motion expands through regular gentle practice. Obviously, anything when we're moving the neck back, if we get too carried away, we just end up with a sore neck. So it's really important to be gentle. Listen to the body. Wherever we are, even it up. Make sure you've done the same on both sides. And then bring the chin back to neutral when you're ready, when you've done it. Next is to open up the upper back. To do that, hands to the thighs, gently bending the knees. As we exhale, we're just tilting forward. So we're trying to not move the hips, and we're just bending the chin towards the chest and the upper back. As we inhale, try not to move the legs. Restack the vertebrae so we come up to a natural straight position. Exhale, rolling forwards. So it might be quite a small movement. We're not trying to come all the way down. We're just trying to isolate the sort of top third of the spine. And flowing like this, exhaling. Maybe even drawing the tummy in and up and lengthening here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Next time you come forwards, you can just let the hands drag down. Bend the knees, bend the knees, bend the knees, bend the knees. And we'll come to a floppy forward fold. So keep bending the knees if it's possible until abdomen touches thigh. And then we can be heavy on the thighs. If we're finding it's a bit of a long way down, bit of support here. But ideally we're finding the contact of tummy on thigh. And so the legs are still taking most of the weight. And we can let the head hang. Maybe we can tip forwards a little bit, fingertips on the floor or on the blocks. Try to let the head be heavy wherever we've ended up. And let the weight of the head put the space back between the vertebrae there. Well, just being a human being and walking around and sitting slowly erodes over time, the days and the years. So we're going to come back up. We're going to come back up really nice and carefully. First, we bend the knees a bit more. We feel the bottom going backwards. And we lift out of the tummy. Fingertips might trace up the legs. As we come up, we're bringing the pelvis under and the back naturally stacks up. So we're actually going to practice that now a little bit of just coming up and coming down with an easeful spine. And what I want you to pay attention to is one, trying to move each vertebrae in turn so it's smooth. And two, especially when we're standing up, we'll have a tendency to lean to one side or the other. Try to come up slowly enough you can notice and go, oh, I'm going on my right, and try to come back to straight. So gently bend the knees, inhale the arms up, exhale, bottom goes back, keep a straight spine, and we'll come down about halfway. Let the fingertips come down as we bend the knees and we drop the body onto the legs. Let the head be heavy. And to come up, inhale, drop the bum, lift from the belly, drawing the pelvis under, restacking the spine. And we might bring the arms up as well. Exhaling to fold forwards, bum back, long spine, long spine, long spine. Drop the head, drop the torso, drop the hands. Inhale, bottom back, lifting from the tummy, restacking, straightening the legs, inhaling up. So in your own time, just flowing like this. Looking out for those kinks and twists in the spine, which we're probably not normally ever conscious of. Seeing if we can make it really, really even. Trusting the feet, the power of the legs, power of the core. Just like playing music, you've got to be able to do it really slowly. If you can make it really beautiful when you do it really slowly, you'll be able to do it really fast with great technique. Just try to do everything fast, and you'll never get good technique. Next time we come up, let's pause there for a moment. Let's see how we're doing for time. Yeah, good. Okay. So we're going to step back for a little lunge here. So bring the weight onto the left foot, light on the right toes. Inhale, use the fingers as well. Imagine like Tai Chi, bring up that knee. Exhale, we'll step that foot back, just a little tiny lunge. Weight temporarily on those toes and then weight back onto the front foot and we step it through. So all the time, I could stop anywhere. We know exactly where we are in space. We know where our weight is. So we're taking these little steps, not too much weight in that back foot. Inhaling the knee through, exhaling the little step. Inhale, exhale this little step. This time, inhale, bring the knee through a little bit more. Exhale, send the foot back a little bit further. And we're going to stop in our lunge here. I'm wearing two dark clothes, aren't I? I'm going to bring one hand to the front of the body, one hand to the lower back, lengthen the spine, and just see if there's a little tilt in the pelvis. And we want to feel like the pelvis is neutral, so the spine is upright, just as if we were standing straight. We're going to get the strength for that by pushing the toes into the floor. Get a little stretch here in the front of the leg. So we don't want any of this collapsing, hunching. That's it. Nice upright posture. If we're finding the balance is a little bit tricky, move the left foot out to the left a little bit, widen the stance a little bit. Once you're happy with that, fingers to the hip points, and you probably find you need to bring left hip back a little bit, right hip forwards a little bit, and you might need to raise the right hip a little bit. Trying to find those straight hips, like we're on train tracks, like this. When we're happy with that base, we should be feeling a nice bit of work here in the thigh, and the toe should be pushing into the ground, just like we're ready to spring off. Don't need to spring off, but we want to feel like there's energy in the toe. Inhale and add the arms. See if we can sink the shoulders down, and then on an exhale, cactus arms. Cactus arms is like this, bringing the elbows down to the side, and we squeeze the shoulder blades together, drag the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, arms circle forwards. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, squeezing together, cactus arms. Hold. On your next exhale, right hand forward, left arm back. It's a little twist in our lunge. Watch out for the balance, could be a bit tricky. You keep the elbows bent. And if we can, we're turning the gaze to the left or maybe to the back. Inhale, forwards again, arms up. And we're going to step back to the front of the mat. So as we exhale, weight's coming back here. Inhale, bring the knee through and place it back down. Take a little moment to reset, find your grounding. When we stand at the front like this, it's our mountain pose. It's our standing base, our powerful, strong base. So find your mountain pose, strong core. And then again, we're going to float the left knee this time and take our little steps. So weight comes over the right foot, backs of the hands float up like a Tai Chi master. Exhale, slow motion, little step. Inhale, bring the knee back through. Body comes upright. Exhale, fold. Step back. Inhale. So it's all about, as we lean forward, to bring the weight forwards, and that keeps the balance. A little step back. Getting ready for the lunge. Inhale the knee that little bit higher. Exhale, step a little deeper. Find your lunge. And we'll go through those same cues again. So one hand to the front, one hand to the back. Tuck the tailbone under. Strong toe. Maybe move the heel away a little bit and push off the toe to increase the stretch in the thigh. Make sure we don't drop the tummy. And then finally the hips. Make sure our hips are nice and on our train tracks. And we're inhaling the arms up. And on the exhale, it's that cactus arms. Bring the shoulder blades together. Give them a squeeze. Arms forwards. Exhale, squeeze. Once again, inhaling them up. Exhaling them down. And then it's our twist. So we inhale. We twist open to the right this time. Right shoulder goes back. Lovely. Very nice. So see if you can keep the hips more in line with the front and just twist above the hips in the spine. Harder than it sounds. I see a lot of people fall over in this every week, so don't worry about it. Okay. On our next inhale, we turn the body back to the front and we float the hands up, coming ready back to the front of the mat. So the weight's going to come forwards. Exhale, foot comes through. Inhale, knee lifts. Exhale, we find our mountain pose. Let that go. Maybe a little sway with the music side to side, checking in with how the body feels. Nice. So let's have a sun salutation. We're going to crouch. This is our chair pose. Utkatasana. No, sorry. Yeah, Utkatasana. Fierce pose. Exhale. Bum back, forward fold. Fingertips find the floor. Inhale, let the fingertips come to the shins. Stand with a flat back. Exhale, fingers down. And we're going to step ourselves back, finding our plank, dropping the knees down. Turn the elbows so they face backwards. Exhale, all the way down to the ground. Untuck the toes. So we're lying on the front and we're gently raising the chest. So we're pushing the feet into the floor, pushing the hands into the floor. Little back bend, baby cobra. And then we'll come back. So we'll tuck the toes and we're exhaling the bottom towards the heels. Child's pose. All right, child's pose. We inhale forwards, all fours, and then maybe we can push into the hands. And we start to bring the legs towards straight, finding this A shape, this downward dog. So if the wrists are feeling like they're doing too much work, bend the knees more and bring the hands towards the feet a little bit more. Try to bring the weight back towards the feet by bending the knees. Now imagining you can send the sitting bones to the sky. From here, really nice wrist strengthener is just little walking the hands towards the feet in little movements. So one hand in the other, slowly walking the hands towards the feet. As we come to the back of the mat, the heels might settle and we find ourselves in our nice forward fold with the bent knees, just like we practiced earlier. And then we'll pad these hands back to the front, back to our downward dog. And then we're going to walk the feet up to the hands, little steps. With each step, see if we can lift the hip a little bit. So lift the right foot, lift the right hip. Again, as we come towards the hands, we're bending the knees. And we're coming towards our lovely soft forward fold. And we're going to repeat all of that again. So we're going to walk our feet back. Okay, feeling the weight move from one hand to the other, feet from one foot to the other. And we get to the back, walking the hands to the back. Bending those knees, dropping the body. And last time, we're going to just come back to our downward dog, walking those hands forwards. Raise the heels, come onto the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, wave the body forwards towards a plank position. Exhale, back towards our downward dog. Inhale, waving it forwards, maybe coming a bit deeper. Exhale, back towards our downward dog. And then we're walking back to the front of the mat. Flopping it out in our forward fold, and this time we're going to bring our hands to the back of the head, interlinking the fingers. And we're not putting any pressure on the head, we're just using the weight of the arms to gently encourage a slightly deeper fold, keeping those knees really bent. So we're just, all the weight is still in the legs. And letting gravity gently extend the spine. From there, just like we practiced earlier, we're coming up, so we're sending the bum back, energy through the feet, slowly unrolling the spine, letting the hands come with float up, and exhaling, hands down, finding our mountain pose. So we'll turn the hands out to face the front, being nice and strong and secure in our mountain pose. We're going to come down to the floor now. We'll come down through our squat again. So we'll inhale and we'll find our chair pose, just like we're going to try and sit in a small chair and really squeeze the buttocks, lengthen the spine. It might be like you're sort of skiing and absorbing the bumps, but with the arms up. If the arms are too much, you can have the hands in prayer. And then we're going to see if we can lower down as low as we can. And then maybe we're going to find the hands come to the floor. And maybe we can get the bum down to the floor. And we're going to be coming back onto the back. So you don't want to use the arms. Or maybe we can roll gently, gently, lengthen the spine down to the mat. Either way, we're going to find ourselves nicely lying back on the mat, back of the head's down, and the knees are up. I'm going to turn up the light a little bit. It's a little bit too dark. Turn some extra light on. Right. We've got the feet down, shoulders are down here. And we're going to do our supine pigeon. So this is such a great one to release the hips. We're going to pick the right foot up and we're crossing the right ankle over the left knee like that. So it's like a figure of four stretch, sometimes this is called. What's important, keep the toes drawing back towards the knee. This protects the knee. Place both hands on the thighs. And then check in with where the spine is. So the spine will probably have its natural lumbar curve. So the lower back might not be resting on the mat. See if you can tuck the pelvis through, flatten the spine onto the mat. And then use the right hand on the right thigh, fingers pointing towards the knee. So we don't want to push the knee away. We want to draw the flesh up the leg towards the knee. So we're sliding the hand up the leg towards the knee, feeling that stretch, moving the leg bone out of the socket, or with the intention of that. Hold that for a second. Maybe you can feel a release around the glute or the ITB band. And let that go. And what we're coming towards is we're picking the left foot up, and that's helping us to draw this in. So we've got the leg crossed over. Is it like a businessman sitting down? Right ankle is over the left thigh, just below the knee. And then the hands are going to come, right hand's going to come in between the legs, and they're wrapping around the back of the left thigh. This figure four stretch. And just drawing that thigh back in towards us. Remember to keep the feet active. We're leaving the back down on the mat. We're stretching the hips, hip flexors, hamstrings. Exhaling, maybe you can find a little more softness, a little more depth. And then gently, gently let that go. Lower the left foot back down to the mat. Plant the right foot. And windscreen wiper the knees. So we're just rolling across the pelvis. The knees are going left to right, staying separated. Loosening off the fascia on the top of the pelvis, the top of the buttocks. And then we're going to the other side. So again, just like an old school businessman on the tube, left ankle is over the left thigh, like a number 4. Hands go onto the legs. Check in with the lower back, so flatten the lower back onto the mat, onto the floor. And then the left hand doesn't push the knee away. It lengthens the flesh out of the hip socket, so the fingers themselves slide up towards the knee. moving the flesh away from the hip socket. We don't want to push the knee away, it could put too much twisting pressure on the knee. Lengthening the flesh out of the hip socket. Remember to keep these toes drawing back towards the knee. The crossed foot, the toes are active, drawing back towards the knee. Really important to look after our knees in these motions. Release the pressure with the left hand. And again, we're taking the figure of 4 stretch. Right toes float, right leg comes towards us, and the hands go around the back of the thigh. Drawing the thigh towards us, but leaving the back on the floor. So don't roll the back off the floor like that. That's not going to do us any good. We're trying to mobilize the hip joint and the muscles in the leg. And gently lowering that foot back to the floor as well. And again, this time we'll roll across, we'll pick up both the knees, we'll put our hands around the front of the knees, and again we'll roll across the top of the pelvis. So we're just rolling left to right gently, but maybe this time we can feel the massage coming across the whole of the back. So we're just rolling from one side to the other, just a little bit, feeling a nice release across the back of the body. Nice. Okay, we'll take Happy Baby. So again with Happy Baby, the temptation is to roll the back off the floor. We don't want to do that. Leave the back on the floor. And then maybe we're taking hold of the back of the thighs, or maybe we're taking hold of the ankles or the shin. The legs are apart a little bit. And we're just gently imagining drawing the knees down towards the armpits. So again, flex the feet. Some people will reach toe or foot. Doesn't matter where we hold on to. Let the arms be floppy and heavy. As long as you keep the lower back on the floor, and we're just imagining drawing those knees down towards the floor, down to the armpits. Nice. Make sure you can still have the shoulders and the head relaxed. Maybe as you are here for a few more seconds, start to notice that there's tension, or especially it's normal to have the tension on the inner thigh where the legs meet the groin. And maybe as we're sitting in this stretch for another few seconds, we can soften around the inner thigh, around the hip socket, and maybe there's a little bit more depth. And letting the rest of the body be really soft. So we really want to feel like shoulders are doing nothing. The arms would fall to the floor if they weren't holding on to the feet. And we're gently going to release from this. Slowly lower the feet back down to the floor. And we're going to finish with a supine twist. So extend the right leg away. Bring the right hand to the outside of the left upper thigh, just behind the knee. And as we exhale, actually, before we do that, just move the hips across to the left a little bit. And then as we exhale, we'll draw the right knee, the left knee over to the right. So the instruction I give with this is we try to leave both of the shoulders on the mat, and we try to bring the left hip above the right hip. So if you imagine your spine, this is spinal twist. If we allow the shoulder to come with, then we just sort of counter, we're removing the twist again. So leave the shoulders where they are, and bring the hip across as far as it wants to go. If the knee's floating and it's uncomfortable, great time to bring in pillow or a block for a bit of support there. Maybe the right hand remains on the knee, gently guiding it across. Or maybe we let the hand go and we just have the arms out wide in a capital T shape. A few more breaths here. Really trying to relax those shoulders, relax the back of the head, relax the face. Bring the attention more and more to the breath now as we come towards the end of our practice. Just feeling the breath move us as our own bodies become more still. We're going to come over to the other side, so maybe you're bringing the right hand under the knee to help encourage it back across. Land the left foot, and we're scooching the hips under, resetting the hips. Extend the left leg away, draw the right knee in, and slide the hips to the right a little bit. And then we're rolling that right hip above the left hip, coming over into our twist on the other side. We're twisting the right hip over. And again, you might want to pop something under the knee if it's not happy. You might leave the left fingers resting on the left thigh. Or you might send both the arms out in a nice capital T shape. Back of the head heavy, shoulders soft. Noticing the expansion of the chest. Maybe noticing a separation of the shoulder blades with the breath. Remembering our theme of water and how the ripples on the pond slowly fade away and we return to our deep calm at the end of the practice. So we're going to come to our final resting pose. So again, maybe using the hand to help encourage the right knee back across, bringing the sole of the right foot back onto the floor and scooching the hips back to center. Draw the left foot in and then maybe draw both knees in, wrapping hands or arms around the knees and giving yourself a squeeze. Lengthening the spine one last time. And we're coming to our resting pose. So a couple of options here. You might want to go for the classic Shavasana and just send the feet away, the arms away. Can be a bit much in the back. If that's the case, we can bring a cushion or pillow underneath the thighs and the knees and rest the thighs and the knees on a cushion or two. That can take the pressure off the back. If it's still a bit much, you might just leave the soles of the feet on the floor. Let the knees come together. If you've got something handy, it can be really nice to cover the eyes as well for this relaxation. You can use a sleep mask, a hand towel, sleeve of a jumper I've used before. Just helps keep the mind in check. Wherever we're going to spend these last couple of minutes, settling in now, taking any last wriggles, letting the eyes close if they're not already. Starting to feel ourselves getting super, super heavy. All the time we're engaging muscles to keep ourselves sitting up, hold ourselves in position, and when we're in our Shavasana, we're fully supported. So we can train the muscles to start to switch off. We can ask the muscles to soften. So maybe if we bring the attention to the legs, we might be able to find a little bit of extra softness in the legs. And maybe around the hips and the buttocks. Again, there might be 5%, 10% more softness we could bring in. And the same goes for the back and the shoulders and the arms. See if we can find that little extra bit of release, trusting the ground to hold us. Finally, the head. Seeing if we could soften the head into the ground a little bit more. Often we hold tension in the jaw, especially the back of the jaw. Maybe we could relax the back of the jaw. Relax the whole mouth, lips, teeth, tongue. Maybe we could soften off the forehead a little bit and let the eyes rest heavy in their sockets, the eyelids relax. Whole body released, supported, treasured. Spending another moment or three here. And if the mind is wandering off, bring it back to the breath. Maybe noticing the temperature difference of the nostrils as the air moves in and the air moves out. In a moment, we're going to start coming back to the body. Let's just see if there's a sigh that wants to come out. Maybe there's a filling of the lungs through the nose, an opening of the mouth, a big relaxing sigh out through the mouth. Maybe making a bit of noise. Ah. And maybe there was one last bit of softness to be found. The next breath, make it an energizing breath. As you fill the body up with air, maybe we can feel the fingertips and the toes get a bit more energized with the breath. Maybe we stretch the fingertips and the toes away. Exhale, soften. Inhale. This time a wiggle of the fingers and the toes. Exhale, soften. This third time, stretch the arms above the head and lengthen the feet away, like we're waking up from a beautiful sleep. A lovely holiday somewhere beautiful and calming and restful. Relax that out. And we're going to roll onto our side. So maybe we bring the knees in, roll over onto the side. Possibly the arm makes a little pillow for the side of the head. Doesn't matter which side we're on. Taking a moment to lie on our side. It's halfway house between our rest and the rest of our day. Checking in with how we feel and going, yeah, okay. Really noticing the moment. And we're slowly going to find our way back to our seat. We might need to find a block on the way or something to sit on. Whatever's comfortable. No special seat needed. Eventually, we're going to be sitting together cross-legged or in any other comfortable position. Mm. And remember at the beginning, I asked you to think of this hour as a present to yourself and as a little gift of me time. So returning to that thought, oh yeah, that was pretty awesome. I did a good job choosing this. And that's not something for me, that's something for you. Inhale the arms up above the head and exhale the hands down to the heart in the universal prayer gesture. Gently bowing the chin towards the fingertips. Thank you so much for your attention and your energy, your presence. Namaste.